Greetings and salutations from the Summit City. This evening at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, it's a duel between the Summit League's only undefeated teams remaining in conference play. And it's a matchup of the last two Summit League Players of the Week. Purdue Fort Wayne's silky smooth John Conchar and Oral Roberts' high-flying Emmanuel Nezikwesi. Who will rise to the top of the summit by themselves? We'll find out in 40 minutes. It's the Mastodons and the Golden Eagles next. Hi everyone, and a pleasant Thursday evening to you. Thanks so much for joining us with former Indiana Tech head coach Jeff Parrish. I'm John Nolan. Glad to have you along. And Jeff, a few weeks ago, I'm not sure anyone would have predicted this, but a few games in a conference play, and here we are, undefeated Purdue Fort Wayne and undefeated Oral Roberts.
What a great night to be a Mastodon or a Golden Eagle. Like you said earlier, in 40 minutes, somebody's going to be atop of the Summit League by themselves. And as we sat here and watched the Golden Eagles warmed up, I think the Mastodons are going to have a huge task ahead of them, especially on the backboards tonight, where the Golden Eagles, they go 6'10", 6'8", 6'8", 6'7", across the front line. So there's going to have to be a lot of boxing out, a lot of rebounding by Fort Wayne. And Dylan Carl, Matt Holba, they're going to have to put on a big show tonight on the glass. And maybe a little bit of help from Cameron Bedford off the bench if they're going to dominate tonight on the glass.
One of those 6'8" guys for Oral Roberts is Nezikwesi. He's coming off of a double-double last time out. He's their leading scorer and rebounder, averaging 16 and a 7. And, of course, John Conchar, the do-it-all guy for the Dons.
Both of them are most likely going to have big games here tonight. So let's cancel those two out and see who can step up tonight for the Mastodons to put them over the top to get them to the first place all alone in the Summit League.
Nezikwesi starting, Conchar starting. We'll tell you who joins them in the starting lineups and have the opening tip coming up on the other side.
The core of the physicians and the nurses that have made Lutheran great over the years, the core is still here, and we're not going anywhere.
We do things at Lutheran that other hospitals in this area do not do, and you only see it at bigger cities. And to be able to do it here locally is a wonderful thing.
We have all the specialists that you can think of, and they're all great to work with, and the talent is just amazing.
And I see magnificent things happening every single day. Just terrific work by dedicated professionals on every level.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Brought to you by Evans Toyota. And Jeff, of note here for Oral Roberts, they're without Sam Kearns, their starting point guard. He's going to miss this game with a shoulder injury, so instead of number 10 Kearns, it'll be Kalen Malone, a senior, who'll be making his 8th start of the year.
Not a big drop-off there, John. Similar stats. Malone, he plays 25 minutes a game, so he's going to step right in, and he's going to have a lot of confidence.
And it's the same starting lineup for Purdue Fort Wayne that they've used 5 games in a row, and which they've won 5 in a row. They've got a chance for their first 6-game winning streak since 2016.
Oral Roberts, since they've gotten into the Summit League here in the last couple weeks, they have been on a tear. They've increased their offensive efficiency in each category about 10%, and they are up in scoring 13 points a game. So they're going to be very, very dangerous here tonight.
Yeah, and for Oral Roberts, it could be their first 4-game winning streak since 2015. Oral Roberts led by second-year head coach Paul Mills. He came over after spending 14 seasons as an assistant at Baylor under Scott Drew, part of some really good Bears teams. Went to the Big Dance 7 times, including a couple of trips to the Elite Eight. And he's brought that zone with him from Baylor.
You're going to see a lot of zone defense here tonight out of Oral Roberts. It'll be interesting because Purdue Fort Wayne has not seen much zone all year.
Back in the non-conference, they had that one game against Samford, which wound up one of their only 2 losses at home this season. Macedon 7-2 here on the year. Oral Roberts only 2-7 on the road, but they did get that conference road win at Omaha a couple weeks ago.
I would think it'd give them a lot of confidence because Purdue Fort Wayne, one of the better three-point shooting teams in the nation.
There's a 3 to start for number 3, Kalen Malone. So the guy who hasn't been starting of late for Oral Roberts inserted into the lineup, and he makes his presence felt right away.
There's your 2-3 zone like you talked about. It is long and it's tall across that back line. They go 6'10", 6'8", and 6'8" across that baseline, and it's going to be hard to penetrate that zone.
Kason Harrell misfires on the 3. Already their opening possession, you saw that's a different offense than Purdue Fort Wayne is generally running. They usually only use half the shot clock.
But this is right here is where Purdue Fort Wayne's at its best. In transition, miss shot, block shot. They need to push that ball up here tonight.
Oral Roberts did a good job of getting back. Matt Holba is fouled.
That's going to be one of the keys here tonight. Get the ball up the court before Oral Roberts gets that zone set up and see if we can get some easy baskets.
John Kaufman likes to play an up-tempo style, the 5th-year Purdue Fort Wayne head coach. Holba from Noblesville, Indiana. Former Indiana All-Star at Guerin Catholic. Good on the first of 2. How about the game he had here last Thursday night? And Purdue Fort Wayne's win over South Dakota State. Holba put up 20.
He came out the second half, and he pretty much took the wind right out of South Dakota State sails, hitting those 3-pointers early.
That 3 is no good for DJ Weaver. He's an excellent shooter. Offensive board for Nezekwesi, who sticks it in. This Oral Roberts team leads the league in offensive rebounds. There's their first, and it leads to 2.
That's got to be a huge concern right now for the Macedons, Coach Kaufman. I'm sure they have addressed that in the week leading up to this game here tonight.
Holba cuts, has that swatted by Nezekwesi. Malone up ahead. Conchar returns the favor.
Right there's your 2 premier players playing defense and running the court and getting the big block at both ends.
Not just offensive stars. And when you talk to Paul Mills about how Oral Roberts has turned things around here of late, he says it definitely starts on the defensive end and getting a team that's relatively inexperienced to buy in. Nezekwesi attacks and finishes.
Right there's Dylan Carl. He's got to step up and meet him halfway. He cannot let him get all the way to the basket for that easy shot.
Nezekwesi a couple years ago is the newcomer of the year in the league. Last year, honorable mention all-league, but Coach Mills acknowledges they might have played him out of position some, had him on the perimeter. He's not a great 3-point shooter. He's kind of found his niche here this season, 15 feet and in. Another offensive board, left that short, and Holba pulls down the board. D. Montgomery shows some aggressiveness, and he'll head to the line.
Right there, that's what Purdue Fort Wayne needs to do. Get that ball up the court, off the missed shot, push it, and try to get to the basket. I like D. Montgomery in the starting lineup for Coach Kaufman. He gives them a little more speed, athleticism, quickness on defense, and he can get to the rim and he can get up high. He's not afraid to take the ball to the basket, as we just saw there in that play right there.
Yeah, his height belies his toughness. Purdue Fort Wayne 5-0 with Montgomery in the starting lineup. And he's been efficient, shooting 55% from the field and 8 of 18 from 3 during this stretch.
And I think we saw earlier here in the season, Coach Kaufman, he tried several different lineups, and I think he's kind of found one now that he's very, very comfortable with, that he'll push right through the Summit League.
Montgomery, the junior who transferred in from Arkansas State Mid-South. It took him a little bit of time to get his sea legs here at the D1 level in non-conference play. Montgomery, nice pass for Dylan Carl. Holba for 3.
Right there, that D. Montgomery, he collapsed that zone defense on the inside and was able to kick it out for the wide open Matt Holba on the wing.
And Carl, not your average big man. He's an excellent passer. Harrell knocked that away. Excellent hustle. Out of bounds, but the Dons bench likes the effort. Level at 7, almost 4 minutes in. Neither side has gone to the bench yet. That's 2 down low for Kerwin Smith. Grad transfer from Grand Canyon. Holba, catch and shoot.
Right there again, strong penetration to the basket, collapses the defense, and a kick out for the wide open shot.
He likes this setting here at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum. Over the last couple games coming in, he was 9 of 20 from 3. Nezukwesi right now dominating the offensive glass, puts that back in.
Right there, that's about 4 or 5 offensive rebounds now for Oral Roberts. Purdue Fort Wayne's got to get that in check quick.
Montgomery, nothing but net, but not the part you want. And it'll be Oral Roberts' ball on the other side. Check that. Mastodons will get it. That was deflected. It's Oral Roberts on the road, up by 1.
The Acme Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Acme Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors meet.
Hey fellas, these Howie's specials with Cajun crust must be yours. So, where's the game?
There's no game.
Hungry Howie's, how may I help you? Yeah, I can't.
These guys again? Well, at least they don't have an air horn.
Flavor fanatics love us because we make our dough fresh daily and have meal deals for any budget.
Hungry?
Howie's! Flavor fanatics welcome.
Purdue Fort Wayne hosting Oral Roberts here in Summit League action. The Golden Eagles making the trip over here from Tulsa. Private Christian school founded by the televangelist. You a Simpsons fan?
Not really.
Ned Flanders would be considered the most notable alum out of Oral Roberts, the Simpsons neighborino, if you will. That's because Simpsons creator Matt Groening,
I think,
he started at Oral Roberts, didn't finish there.
I think that when the Simpsons were on TV, that was dinner time at our house, so there was no TV on.
There you go, traditional family values. D. Montgomery no good for 3, and the rebound into the hands of Emmanuel Nezukwesi. Kevin O'Banner has come in off the bench, and it's a foul against Purdue Fort Wayne. That's on Cam Benford, who had come in during the timeout, and he may exit right away. Don's head coach John Kaufman has said he'd like to play Benford more, but he's been getting into quick foul trouble.
You see right there how Oral Roberts, they take out one 6'8" and just shuffle in a new 6'8" right there and gets right inside and makes something happen underneath the basket right away.
They've got big-time size here at the mid-major level.
Already here early on, 4 offensive rebounds, 8 total rebounds. So Fort Wayne's going to have to get that in check here quickly. Little full court pressure here back into the 2-3 zone for Oral Roberts.
Conchar turns and scores.
That's probably one of his most difficult shots that he has taken for many, many games. That little turnaround jumper, you don't know where anybody is behind you and able to float it up over the tall timber there of Oral Roberts. What a special touch right there by John.
Conchar, who's just an unbelievable all-around player. So efficient, too, shooting 57% from the field. Not a lot of times the most high-volume shooter on your team is also going to be the guy who's shooting at the best rate.
Hey, you got 21, Dylan. You got 21.
Very, very confident in what he does. He doesn't force the shot. He's not constantly looking for his shot. Maybe if the game's on the line, he's a little bit different in that area, but he keeps the ball moving. He lets the game come to him, and he takes advantage of what the defense gives him.
Yeah, boy, touch, John. Touch. Touch.
Conchar, no good on the 3. When Purdue Fort Wayne winds up in the half court, what's the best way to try to attack the zone?
Rotate the ball from side to side, try to get a little bit of penetration in the gaps. If you can't get that shot off, that'll collapse that defense and be able to kick it out for the open shot. We've seen that a couple times already here early on in the first half. You can see him moving the ball from side to side, looking on the inside, look at the defense collapse on him, and there's the weak side cutter.
Jared Godfrey couldn't get it in off the glass, but he'll head to the line.
What happens when that ball goes in the middle like that, you're going to draw at least 2 to 3 players. So somebody's going to be open on the perimeter, or you might get a cutter from the weak side right there, how Jared cut to the basket himself. So it's very, very important that the post players here tonight for Purdue Fort Wayne, they're very, very alert where people are on the court, where the cutters are and where the open man is, so they can get them the ball.
It's hard to describe this zone for Oral Roberts. It's not a traditional 2-3 zone. Baylor calls it a 1-1-3. Some have said this zone for Oral Roberts looks more like a 1-3-1 in a half court.
They kind of match up man-to-man. It's got man-to-man principles in it. There's always somebody on the ball, but that ball goes into the post where they collapse hard on it.
It's a giveaway.
Right there, one of Oral Roberts' Achilles heels, that turnover. They're putting up about 15 turnovers a game. And right there you saw them get a little flustered and throw the ball out of bounds. That's their first turnover here tonight.
Yeah, that's something that head coach Paul Mills says you have to endure with such a young, inexperienced team, riding the ups and downs of the season. Godfrey gets into the paint.
You can see him right there. Macedon's trying to shoot those gaps right into the 3-second lane and got the turnover.
Trading turnovers, and on the second effort, Kevin O'Banner.
That was good transition that time by Oral Roberts. Got the turnover, and they had 3 guys out sprinting the court.
O'Banner comes off the bench, but he's their second leading scorer and rebounder. Right now playing with Nezekwesi on the bench. This is a rare spot where both Nezekwesi and Conchar aren't on the floor, the 2 premier players in this game. With the left hand, Kerwin Smith only averages 4 a game, and he's already there.
That's a big-time move there. A little post move, up and under, a spin move with a little up and under and a left-handed jump hook.
Harrell feeds Carl. How about the little guy? Matt Weir sneaks inside, and he scores off the O board.
A little quick put back there by Matt. Underneath there, nobody saw him sneaking down the middle of the lane.
even at 16, almost midway through the first half. Godfrey with the steal. Quick ball movement and an easy 2 for Godfrey.
Great cut by Jared Godfrey right there. 2 times he saw when the ball went opposite him. That opened up that cutting lane right to the basket, and Dylan Carl with another great pass underneath.
Paul Mills doesn't like it for his side. He calls it timeout. We'll take 1-2. It's the Mastodons up by 2.
We all have a car we drive in our dreams, like a car you take on the open road. A car that takes you on an adventure. Or maybe it's a car the whole family can take. At Ford Financial Credit Union, we can make your dreams come true. We've got great low rates on auto loans and can approve you in a matter of minutes. Stop by your local branch or apply today at fortfinancialcu.org. Fort Financial. It's time to live your dreams.
In this building, just about 56 years ago, the 3rd annual NBA All-Star Game. There's a look at George Mikan. He was the MVP of that game. Featured guys like Bob Cousy, Dolph Schayes. Pretty amazing to think that that was here in this spot.
Fort Wayne was a huge hotbed for the NBA back there in the early 50s. They played at Northside High School, played here in the Coliseum as well. As you can see in that picture there, it looked like it was a sellout.
Yeah, it was the Fort Wayne Pistons before they moved to Detroit. A couple years later, the Pistons hosted the NBA Finals here against the Syracuse Nationals. Were you there for that one?
Nope. I was not there. I don't watch The Simpsons, and I wasn't there for the NBA
You got the old style
Finals.
camel skin jacket on here tonight, so I wasn't quite sure which decade you were coming from.
That's never gone out of style.
You're right. You're looking mighty good, too, I should add. Out of the timeout, Oral Roberts in the half court, and Carlos Jurgens misses on the 3. Kaysen Harrell, open look.
See what here's happened here the last couple minutes of the game. Purdue Fort Wayne, they have increased the tempo of the game, and it has flustered Oral Roberts quite a bit here on the offensive end. 2 of the last 4 possessions have resulted in turnovers or missed shots. And here's another turnover by Oral Roberts. The intensity on defense and pushing the ball offensively has made the Golden Eagles a little uncomfortable here.
The freshman Jared Godfrey had maybe too much time, overthought that, travels. Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Oral Roberts both 3-0 so far in the Summit League, the only undefeated teams remaining in the conference. Mastodons hunting a 6-game winning streak overall.
And I'll tell you what, both coaches, both teams, I know for a fact, came into this game knowing they could win this game. Both teams felt that way. So I think it's going to be a dogfight all the way through the end of it.
Oral Roberts right now certainly feeling confident after they had a tough non-conference but played a really challenging schedule. Ezekwesi went up and down. He scores. No travel called. They say there was contact on the ball. Holba shovels it off for Cam Penford. Good, and the foul.
Good dish right there on the penetration. Caught the defense slacking over. Cam Bedford wide open there underneath for the easy basket.
Benford, the sophomore from Seattle, seems to always have a smile on his face, and certainly for good reason here in this spot.
Right there. He's using that big 6'8" frame of his, and he was able to take that hit and score it and knock down the free throw. That's huge for the Mastodons right there.
John Kaufman says he's maybe never had a player who has the kind of positive energy that Benford has. His minutes have been down due to foul trouble, but he makes an impact in that spot. Ball finds Nezekwezi, and he scores through the contact.
Right there, you saw some strength right there. Took a couple hits, didn't even phase him, was able to knock it off the glass for the easy basket.
Nezekwezi, the redshirt junior, has really filled out his frame. Last year, Paul Mills was using him as a perimeter guy. Not necessarily his game, and Coach Mills feels like Nezekwezi now has found his role. There was one point during the non-conference where he wasn't at his best. He came off the bench for a couple games, and that seems to have lit a fire under him. He right now is the reigning conference player of the week.
And in conference play, he's averaging nearly 25 points a game, which is up about 6 to 8 points from his normal season average.
John Conchar, he can fill it up as well. Third in the league in scoring at 19 a contest, and he makes a challenging bucket. Away from the ball, it's a foul against Oral Roberts. Kerwin Smith cleared Cam Benford out of the way. Both teams starting to heat up. The Macedons have made 5 of their last 6. The Golden Eagles have hit 4 of their last 5. That's a heat check for Matt Holba. Malone ups the tempo.
Right there, somebody's got to stop that penetration right there. He had his eyes on the prize way back there at half court. Somebody's got to step in front and take a charge.
Remember, Malone making the start tonight because Sam Kearns, ORU starting point guard, is out with a left shoulder injury. Oh, how did Montgomery find the seam for Benford? But he's stuffed down low.
I think he kind of caught Cameron by surprise underneath the bucket that time. Right there, you see the size and strength of Oral Roberts on the inside right there. No contest for the Mastodons on that possession.
Holba goes right at Smith. Offensive rebound, Benford. And he scoops it in.
That's right, Cameron doing a good job. Kind of had a fumbleitis there on that last possession, but came right back and made it up on that play with the easy basket. I really think Purdue Fort Wayne's going to need his size tonight on the inside. His size and strength are going to pay off huge as we get into this game a little bit further.
Nezekwezi picks up the foul, setting the screen. And there's a break in the action. Purdue Fort Wayne and Oral Roberts, these 3-0 Summit League teams, and it's the Macedons up by 3.
We like to think that we make someone's worst day a little bit better.
You go home and you really truly feel like you've made a difference every day.
And I just knew that's what I wanted to be. Plus I thought it was cool that they wore a stethoscope.
I want to make a difference in people's life, and that's why I chose this. And I love doing what I do.
When you're able to work together with a patient to accomplish a goal, it means the world. It really does.
When the family member or the patient sees that big jump sometimes, it'll make me cry sometimes in therapy just because you can share that moment with them.
She and her husband were just thrilled because they got their life back. And that gives me goosebumps every time.
Our patients are our priority, and their families are our priority, and we do it with a lot of heart. We have people here that give everything they have for those that walk into our doors and need our help.
So far tonight, Oral Roberts is 1 of 5 from behind the arc, while Purdue Fort Wayne is 3 for 8, and well, that's what you'd come to expect here from the Macedons from deep.
And see, year after year, they ranking high in the nation in the 3 points per game, and they're going to launch them here tonight, I have a feeling, against that 2-3 zone of Oral Roberts.
Last time out, Purdue Fort Wayne made 17 threes in that win over South Dakota State, the preseason favorite in the league, and the Dons really ran them out of the building.
I think they took 38 threes that game, if I'm not mistaken. A huge number of jump shots from the perimeter.
Cut, stay low, man.
Contact, but no call as Conchar misses.
That's the take we want.
DJ Weaver hasn't gotten going yet. He can be lethal. He made 7 threes himself at Omaha a few games ago. Marcus DePerry, NBA range. As Ekwesi steps out, only his 7th three of the season. We're tied.
He looks like he shoots that shot routinely. Right there, that's a huge plus for Oral Roberts. He can take him inside, take him outside with a ton of confidence.
As Ekwesi right now has a game-high 14. DeBerry puts it on the deck. Conchar tips it in.
Conchar up there above the rim that time, above the big 6'10" Smith for Oral Roberts, and able to get the nice soft touch off the glass.
Dylan Carl tipped it. Harrell claims it. Case and Harrell.
Right there, that's what they're looking for. Penetrate the gaps. If you can get to the basket, get there. If not, make that defense collapse like we've said earlier and dish it off.
Harrell, one of the top three-point shooters in the league. DeBerry that time had the deflection. It'll stay with ORU, to the dismay of John Kaufman. Harrell, though, going back to him, has established himself as one of the top shooters in the league, and now using that to his benefit. Right there, deploying the shot fake and the drive. Of late, he's actually taking more 2s than 3s, which wasn't the case in the past.
In the past years, he was just settling for the jump shot time after time after time, and that's something that we've seen new this year is a little ball fake, a couple hard dribbles, and getting to the basket. So they got to honor him from the perimeter and able to get to the basket as well.
Ekwesi with another offensive rebound.
Ekwesi right now, he's a man among boys against in that paint for Oral Roberts.
He's a board away from a double-double in this first half. And for Purdue Fort Wayne of late, the three-point shooting, the overall field goal percentage has been exciting. Cam Benford can't get that. Coach Kaufman, though, has said that during the 5-game winning streak for the Mastodons, in his opinion, the key stat has been rebounding. Purdue Fort Wayne 4-0-1 and the rebound battle over the last 5 games.
That's going to be a huge key again here tonight. They got to do something about this offensive rebounding by Oral Roberts and keep them off the glass. That's basically what's keeping them in the game. The second effort, Ekwesi pounding the boards, getting easy putbacks.
How do you fix that?
Well, they got to find him, number one, and be able to get a body. They need a strong person on the inside to put a body on him and get him out.
This time it's Kerwin Smith with the offensive rebound. Godfrey with the steal. Mastodons in transition. DeBerry, catch and shoot.
Marcus has been coming on of late. He had a rough start to the season, but here lately he's been getting a little more comfortable and able to knock down the shots.
Last 3 home games, he's averaging 15 points a game, makes his presence felt defensively.
See the turnover bug starting to bite Oral Roberts.
Conchar cleans it up out of nowhere. Duds by 7. It's a timeout. 3:21 to go in the first half. Purdue Fort Wayne with a 5-0 spurt.
In its 4th decade, the Summit League continues its ascent through excellence in the classroom and success in the field of play. In cities big and small, at public and private universities, more than 120,000 students across 9 institutions reach for the summit. From academic All-Americans to NCAA champions and nationally ranked teams, Summit League student athletes achieve the pinnacle of success. The Summit League, where tomorrow's leaders reach the summit today.
We all have a car we drive in our dreams, like a car you take on the open road. A car that takes you on an adventure. Or maybe it's a car the whole family can take. At Ford Financial Credit Union, we can make your dreams come true. We've got great low rates on auto loans and can approve you in a matter of minutes. Stop by your local branch or apply today at fortfinancialcu.org. Fort Financial, it's time to live your dreams.
Only 2 undefeated teams in the Summit League meeting tonight in the Summit City. And Jeff, at one point, Purdue Fort Wayne was below 500. Oral Roberts was 4-7, and yet here we have a pretty meaningful game.
All alone for first place right here tonight, John. Both teams trying to find themselves, kind of feeling their oats early here in the season. I think both coaches have gotten comfortable with the starting lineup, number one. Both teams are young. They're getting to know each other on the court a little bit more, and furthermore, getting to know what their role is on each team as well.
For Dylan Carl, the 6'11" big man of late, his role has been distributing. A couple of pretty passes from him so far in this first half as well.
But right now, they got to keep Nezakwezi in check with 16 points and 10 rebounds already here in the first half.
It's another double-double for the league's reigning player of the week. Foul against Matt Holba. Purdue Fort Wayne here with still a few fouls to give before Oral Roberts would be in the bonus in the first half. Here comes Kason Harrell. Montgomery, transition 3.
Big shot there by D. Stepped right into that three-point shot. Hands and feet. He was able to knock it down.
He almost had the steal. Instead, a defensive breakdown. Corner 3 doesn't drop for Jurgens. Harrell, NBA range. Duds by 13.
Right there's that three-point shot coming in to play huge effects right here towards the end of the first half.
We'll keep it here with 2:35 left. Purdue Fort Wayne with the largest lead for either side. The Mastodons are on an 11-0 run.
Largely due because of the 9 turnovers now starting to mount for Oral Roberts. They're turning those turnovers into good baskets, quick baskets, open 3 baskets at the other end for Purdue Fort Wayne.
The Chancellor likes it, the AD likes it, the band likes it. Everyone's happy here inside the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum.
That big 3 ball starting to pay off huge dividends right now for the Mastodons. We saw earlier in the graphic where they ranked nationally, and we're seeing that, how that plays into effect to get that number up there.
Top 5 in the country in threes per game, and now 6 of 12 in this opening half. How does ORU get back in it?
They got to quit turning the ball over, number one. That's what's killing them here the last 4 or 5 minutes. And that gets Fort Wayne in transition like we just saw right there.
Conchar right there. What a no-look pass for Dylan Carl. Couldn't finish the bunny.
Puts a little smirk on John's face right there. He knew he had a nice one there to Dylan.
Well, Conchar individually top 5 in the country in double-doubles over the course of his career. And how many times have we seen him fall just a rebound or an assist short? Conchar, corner 3. The Tons are red hot. It's a 14-0 run. He traded his assist for 3 points.
I'm sure deep down inside he likes that stat a little bit better than another turnover by Oral Roberts. And the Mastodons are out and running again.
In the blink of an eye, over a 3-minute plus stretch, a 16-0 run. And it's another takeaway. Golden Eagles get it back. ORU has only 2 guys in their regular rotation who played last season.
Right now, Oral Roberts totally out of their game now, taking ill-advised shots, turning the ball over. They're really frustrated right now as the first half comes to a close here shortly.
Final minute of this first half.
Hey, Dylan, you're on 21. 21. Hey, John, you got 14. John, you got 14.
Right here, set play called from the bench. See if they can pop another 3.
Shot clock ticking down. Turnover. DJ Weaver. Golden Eagles going to need more of that. Timeout Mastodons.
Right there you can see what turnovers do. Purdue Fort Wayne turns it over. Oral Roberts turns it into 3 points.
So here John Kaufman uses the use it or lose it timeout. We'll draw up a set as the Mastodons try to add to this 15-point advantage before they go into the locker room. Coming up at the half, we'll have our Lutheran Health Network halftime show. I'll sit down with Macedon softball coach Truman Fairchild as we start to look ahead to the spring sports season. And this Macedon's men's basketball team, hoping that it's going to be playing through March. Showed you that graphic before that said the last time Purdue Fort Wayne was 4-0 in the Summit League was back in 2011. That was when Dane Fife was the head coach. Last time that they were 3-0 like they are right now was 2016, and that year they went on to win the regular season Summit League title. D. Montgomery, clean look, left it short. Conchar comes up with it to Berry. Step back. Shot clock off. Malone, no. Nezakwesi, what do you think? Nezakwesi dominating the first half on the glass. He finishes with 18 points and a dozen rebounds, and yet still not nearly enough as Purdue Fort Wayne is up by 13.
But going into the locker room, the last 2 possessions for Oral Roberts, they got to kind of gave him a little breath of fresh air, knocking down the big 3. Nezakwesi following up with the easy basket there, a quick 5 points. Let's hope that doesn't turn into something positive for them coming out of the gates here in the second half.
After tonight, there will be only one undefeated team in the Summit League. 20 minutes yet to go. Coming up next, it's our halftime show presented by the Lutheran Health Network.
At Diamond Residential Mortgage, we understand the importance of keeping pace with technology, and we offer a completely digital loan process to our customers who choose to take advantage of that option. But we also understand the magnitude of a home purchase, and one of our loan officers will work with you every step of the loan process to make sure all your questions are answered and the right type of loan is tailored to fit your needs. See Diamond Residential Mortgage.
We had a young woman, she was my age, come in with stroke symptoms, and she just looked up at me and said, I can't believe this happened to me, and it's better. And she said, we can't thank you enough, and I would recommend this hospital to anyone. And she and her husband were just thrilled because they got their life back. And that gives me goosebumps every time. So that's why I do what I do.
The Acme Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Acme Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors meet.
It's halftime at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum as the Purdue Fort Wayne men's basketball team takes on Oral Roberts in Summit League action. About midway through the men's basketball season right now, and on deck spring sports. So with that in mind, it's a pleasure for us to be joined by head softball coach Jermaine Fairchild here on our Macedon Spotlight presented by the Holiday Inn at Purdue Fort Wayne. And Coach, thanks so much for giving us some time here. I know even if it's hard for some people to believe with some snow out on the ground, softball season is underway and you guys are already practicing. Before we dive into 2019, when you reflect back on the 2018 season, what'd you take away from that? How did you see your program develop?
I think, well, first of all, thank you for having me on. And, we're super excited about the season and we appreciate all the attention. I think we had some big milestones last year. A win over North Dakota State, which is the first win for the program in my tenure here. Obviously, they went on to win the conference title and represent us in the NCAA tournament and did quite well there. So, big milestone there for us. Just barely short of 20 wins. I think our going into the season, that 20 win mark was realistic for us, and we fell just short, but we were competitive in every single game we played, and came up with some big wins as well, some big run productions that maybe we hadn't seen yet from our team. And we saw our pitching staff take some big strides from one year to the next. A junior to senior pitcher, reducing our ERA by over a couple of runs, and just really maturing, and in doing so, sharing that knowledge with our younger pitchers, which I think heading into this season is really going to help in the pitching department. Saw a little bit of an increase in our hard hit average, which doesn't always show up in the stats, but we saw a noticeable difference in hitting the ball hard. So some things like that may or may not come up in the stats that keep us real excited about the direction we're going.
And for you now, a few years under your belt here with the Mastodons, and so you've been able to recruit your program. Where do you feel like you are in the overall development of where you want to take this?
Well, we made it to the conference tournament last season and won, and played ourselves into the round of 4. So, talking about steps forward for the program, going to the conference tournament, and then making it into that Final Four. At the end of the day, the teams that are playing the best at the end of the year, that's really how you're judged and how you end up getting sort of ranked. So I think it's fair to say that we were able to orchestrate a bit of a peak for our program and end up in the top 4, and that was a huge step for our program. So in terms of overall development, it's not all about wins and losses, of course, but in terms of recruiting, to your question, it makes a huge difference when they can go and look us up and see that we competed in the conference tournament, we won a game, we were right there within 3 wins of a championship game. That at the end when you get to that point, your overall record really doesn't matter anymore. It's like, hey, we got 3 wins to get into a championship setting, at a championship game, and that's huge to be able to talk about that with your recruits, for them to be able to see it, and also as far as a motivator for our returners coming back, they know what they're playing for.
And now opening day about a month away, so how's the schedule look?
I really love that we made it into the Rosemont tournament again. It's indoors, so we're pretty well guaranteed we're going to get to play it. It's not too far. Obviously, our schedule entails its share of travel, so it's nice to not have to go too far that first weekend. And then we'll head a little farther second weekend down to Alabama and play at Alabama State. And then I've built in a weekend off just to make sure we're getting back on top of things academically, and also getting some rest. And then we'll jump back in the bus after that and have a few more weekends of travel. Spring break, we'll head down to the St. Louis area and then head on over into Tennessee, and kind of do that swing on the bus for spring break. We're going to play some Midwest sort of known quantities during the middle of our spring break against Evansville and Indiana State. So those will be good matchups for us. And then when we get back, we'll have one more weekend tournament, and then it's time to play conference. So we're looking forward to it. We're excited. Anytime you have 7 freshmen on the team, they're always going to kind of add a little extra excitement, even for those of us that have already done it. They're excited to see what it's all about. So.
You said earlier one of the signs of improvement for your team last year was in your hard hit rate, and for anyone following Major League Baseball these days, more and more analytics focus of the game. Can you fill us in on how the sport of softball is evolving in a similar manner?
Oh, absolutely. So we use some interesting technologies, but believe it or not, a lot of them are free. Like we're able to use Game Changer, which is some data we can keep that goes beyond the traditional stats, and it can help us keep track of how our hitters are doing, just in terms of solid contact. So there's, I certainly hate to turn it into a plug for a lot of different technologies, but we're using Diamond Kinetics every day in practice, which is also helping us track hard hit average in practice. So we've got a way to manage it in a game, and then we've got a way to manage it in practice where you're taking a whole lot more swings, obviously, than you're taking in a game. So using Diamond Kinetics in practice and Game Changer with some help from our fans during the games. And then for our pitching staff, measuring how they're doing in some of their stats. We're using the Rapsodo system, which we introduced to our pitchers this past fall, and they've just loved that. It can give them all kinds of information on the quality of the spin that they're putting on the pitch, the location, the amount of movement, and where the movement's beginning, like all kinds of data that we just couldn't collect before. So probably the biggest challenge with that is not getting overwhelmed with the data and picking out something like a hard hit average for your team to focus on and not allow them to get overwhelmed with data. So they've really grabbed onto that hard hit average as well as the quality at bats, which those different tools will also keep track of. So now they can come to practice and have a goal to work toward, and then at the end of the practice see if they achieved it. So it's real time, which is another big advantage of it.
And finally for you, I know before your softball coaching career you have a background in strength and conditioning and performance, and that's another area within softball and across sports where we're seeing rapid development. How much has changed from back to your days as a strength and conditioning and performance coach and your early days as a head softball coach to now? Have you seen things change?
Incredible change. I was fortunate enough to come up as a graduate assistant strength and conditioning coach in a setting that included Division I football. So, but at that time, I think in the NCAA, I think a lot of strength coaches were coaching all sports as if they were football players, because that's what the primary job of the strength and conditioning coach is to prepare the football team. And so my early training was, at least observationally, was watching this sort of football model be applied to every sport. And what really allowed me to take off with it is the head strength and conditioning coach gave me the room to develop some programs for sports like tennis and rowing that allowed me to go, okay, how could we change this to make it more sport specific? And then, fast forward to Purdue Fort Wayne, Coach Rudo, Kevin Rudolphi, he does such an incredible job putting together a program that's going to really, first and foremost, guarantee that we are doing everything we can to prevent injury. And that's really the biggest adjustment that I think I've seen is programs first and foremost built to prevent and mitigate injury. So, I've learned a lot just from watching what Coach Rudo does with our team, and knock on wood, we've had I would say a pretty darn good success with keeping people healthy. Yeah, and it's something I'll always be passionate about, and I look forward to continuing to learn from Coach and also inspire our players to be lifelong fitness enthusiasts and not just walk out of the gym after their senior year and never go back. And so that's a goal of mine as well, is to hopefully inspire some passion for them to stay fit the rest of their lives. So.
Well, Coach, we look forward to seeing a fit, healthy, and successful team this year. Thanks for your time and best of luck.
Thank you.
Coming up next, second half action, Mastodon basketball from Learfield.
Don's looking to donate his plasma, save lives, and earn extra money. See Don check in. See Don answer questionnaire. See Don get vitals checked. See Don donate plasma to save lives and earn money. See Don setting his next appointment from the new BioLife app. See Don leaving with his BioLife debit card with money available. Be like Don. Donate today at either locations in Fort Wayne. Visit biolifeplasma.com or the BioLife app to view monthly specials.
Best are back. Applebee's Bigger, Bolder Grill Combos. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
With Jeff Parrish, John Nolan, glad to have you with us here from the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, where Purdue Fort Wayne leads Oral Roberts 48-35.
Huge half shooting the basketball. They're just blistering that zone from the perimeter, John, at 50% behind the arc. 7 for 14. Well above their season percentage there. And another thing they're doing against that zone is that they're really penetrating that zone. They're getting inside, getting some easy baskets, dish outs, or kicking it out for that three-point. But right now they are really shooting lights out from three-point line. That has really propelled them to this big lead here at halftime. And another thing, that half-court defense, again, has created 10 turnovers and 14 points. Those turnovers, they get that engine running for the Mastodons. We get that transition game going, and that creates open shots for them as well.
There you see the numbers from the first half, and certainly three-point shooting, a key difference.
Huge difference. And look for this half here. I saw a little bit of it here in the first half from Cameron Bedford. See what kind of minutes he gets. I thought he did a pretty good job. He's big, he's strong, he's 6'8", and he matches up very, very well with the big, strong players of Oral Roberts on the baseline.
And a bit of a subtle stat from that first half, but the Mastodons a perfect 7 of 7 at the foul line. That's been an Achilles heel at times this year, but starting to turn the corner there.
That's amazing. We haven't seen that stat all season long. 7 for 7. That's got to be a huge plus in Coach Kaufman's little mental chart that he keeps throughout the game.
What do you look for now in the second half?
Look for Oral Roberts to come out and force the pressure defensively. Look for them to extend that zone a little bit more. And then on the countering that, look for Purdue Fort Wayne to penetrate that zone a little bit. But they got to clean up the turnovers, number one. I thought that really killed them here midway through the first half. They're on pace for 20 turnovers. That's way above their season average of 15. But they got to clean up the offensive end.
Remember, Oral Roberts playing without their starting point guard, Sam Kearns, who's out tonight with a left shoulder injury that he suffered last time out at Western Illinois.
And remember, too, at the end of the first half, Oral Roberts finished with 5 straight points.
First 3 points of the second half go to John Conchar.
Right from the start, there's that three-point shot again that we've talked about all night long, giving Mastodons that big lead.
Gotta love that smirk, right?
That's a confident smirk.
DJ Weaver left that 3 short. Here comes Conchar and company. Harrell, leaner. Conchar hits the deck hard. He'll go to the line. It's like he's playing with a cape on.
That right there looks like he almost took off with a little mini tramp underneath the basket. Holy smokes. He had his elbow nearly at the top of that rim.
Right here is where the Pacers G League affiliate, the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, play. That is exactly the spot where they set up the trampoline when the mascot comes soaring in.
See if John can keep that perfect mark from the free throw line here tonight. Nothing but net. Right there. Up above the rim. Got pushed from underneath.
Conchar on the season at 62% at the line, but over the last 7 games, that's up to 86%. Guy just does it all, and hey, how about this? Last night, Purdue Fort Wayne women's basketball hosted Oral Roberts over at the Gate Center here in town. Conchar worked the game as an usher. The guy just does everything.
Must be work study. Didn't get that full scholarship this year.
Well, he's earned it at this point. There's a 3 for Kalen Malone as Oral Roberts tries to creep back in. Last week we saw Conchar carrying the team's shoe bag onto the bus, helping the managers out. Quick ball movement, sets it up for Kason Harrell, who buries it.
Right there, you got Oral Roberts totally confused. Nezakwezi pleading for his teammates to get out there on the perimeter to close out and get a hand up. That's just good ball movement. Recognize where the open man is.
The only 2 undefeated teams in the Summit League meeting here right now. Mastodons last week took care of South Dakota State, the preseason favorite. And right now they're in great position for their 6th win in a row. That time Weaver has got a wingspan of 6'11". Disrupts the Purdue Fort Wayne offense, and Weaver does his thing on the other end.
Nice transition three-pointer there by Oral Roberts. Stepped right in there, had his hands and feet ready. Nice stroke.
A freshman from Houston. He's their best outside shooter. Holba in the conversation as the best shooter for the Mastodons, although that's quite a competition. That's like a 3-point shooting contest.
You can see right there the Mastodons always flashing in the middle of that zone, trying to get that ball to the high post, looking for a little high-low action. But they always start with maybe a high ball screen for John up top, and then they'll flash somebody to that high post trying to get that ball in, as they did right there.
What kind of guy do you like to have there in the high post? Because I know some may have the philosophy of you want your tallest guy in that spot so he can see over defenders. But we just saw D. Montgomery in that position last time down.
A lot of times coaches will put their guards in there, somebody that can handle the ball, distribute the ball, and be able to get that shot off. A good decision maker is what you really need.
Kason Harrell, a good decision maker. And a hustler, too.
Right there, got the ball at the high post. And the number one thing you want to do when you get the ball at the high post is what? You want to face the basket. You might be open. Kason right there, faced up, and they had the open path to the basket.
Harrell, much more than a shooter these days. He's a driver as well. See the Mastodons double teaming Emmanuel Nezakwezi. All of a sudden, Weaver getting hot.
Right there, that's 3 3-pointers in a row. Purdue Fort Wayne's got to do a better job closing out and getting out on the perimeter shooter. They cannot let that get warmed up. There's the open high post again. Dylan Carl takes the mark. Right there, that open flash to the high post is open all night long so far for Purdue Fort Wayne.
Macedon's up by 13. At halftime, Don's assistant coach, Ryan Sims, said, "Can we get a white jersey for Nezaquezi?" Montgomery got it.
Out there was John Conchar created all that.
How?
Little ball fake, drew two defenders to him. That left D. Montgomery wide open in the corner.
Conchar creating again. 3-on-2. Harrell.
It was like Nate Archibald running the break for the Celtics with a little dump bounce pass to finish it off.
First half, we had a Bob Cousy reference. Now we got Nate Archibald in here.
Led the league in scoring and assists. Basically what John Conchar does for the Mastodons.
Who needs NBA classics?
That's a foul. Right there. So John Strength able to fight that off.
The whistle is blown, and there's a break in the action. They're getting loud here in the Coliseum. The Mastodons on their way to their first 4-0 start in the Summit League since 2011.
The Acme Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Acme Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors meet.
At Diamond Residential Mortgage, we understand the importance of keeping pace with technology, and we offer a completely digital loan process to our customers who choose to take advantage of that option. But we also understand the magnitude of a home purchase, and one of our loan officers will work with you every step of the loan process to make sure all your questions are answered and the right type of loan is tailored to fit your needs. See Diamond Residential Mortgage.
Purdue Fort Wayne leads Oral Roberts by 18, led by who else? John Conchar.
John Conchar right there. First, second, and third. In all those categories there. Most likely by the end of the season, he'll be number one in every statistical category. Maybe not block shots, but rebounds, field goals, steals, points, and assists. Right now, he's having a lot of fun out there tonight playing. Got that little smirk going. Feeling good about himself. Feeling good about his Mastodons as well.
Exactly. Purdue Fort Wayne right now on a 5-game winning streak. And they still have some work to do here, 15-plus minutes remaining. But the Mastodons set to go 4-0 in league play for the first time in 8 years.
Right there, there's the high post pass again, wide open to Kaysen.
Can't finish. Here's Kalen Malone. Conchar deflected it. Harrell comes up with the loose ball. The two senior leaders. Bang!
He is on fire here tonight in the second half.
7 of 9 from the field in the game, including 3 of 4 from 3.
You know, we talked about John Conchar a little bit as Oral Roberts knocks down a jumper. Number 1 in the Summit League in 5 categories. Steals, total assists, offensive rebounds, and field goal percentage.
And yet, some would say he's only the second best player in the league. Arguably, two of the best ever out of the Summit League playing together right now. A rare miss from Conchar, and it's Harrell who cleans it up. This one's all Mastodons. Right after Weaver was heating up for the Golden Eagles, the Dons are now on a 12-2 run. Foul called against Matt Weir.
You just see the confidence in this team, how it has developed over the weeks, over the last couple months here, since the start of the season, is almost night and day. The way they're playing together, like we said earlier, I think they all know their roles very, very well now. That's been established by the coaching staff, and they've accepted that.
Several new pieces on the team this year, although one of the stalwarts in the program last few years has been Kenton Aubrey, Director of Basketball Operations, who jumps into action right there, cleaning something off the floor. But when you look at this Mastodons lineup, you got transfers in like Dean Montgomery, Marcus DeBerry, Matt Holba, freshmen like Jared Godfrey, other guys seeing increased time. Took a while to come together, but this team is gelling well.
And the amazing thing about it, Coach Kaufman, he doesn't like to practice hard once the season gets going. And these guys have really gelled, you know. That comes from a lot of game experience. He's got these guys rotating in, getting them valuable minutes early in the season, and now it's paying dividends here in the Summit League.
Harrell with 4 triples tonight. Cam Benford commits the foul, and Amir Ahmedic will go to the line. Assistant coach Paul Casaro with the scout for the Mastodons here tonight against Oral Roberts. Medic, one of a few European players for this Oral Roberts team. Medic is from Bosnia and Herzegovina.
They see Cam Bedford on the replay there. Got him pretty good with the body. Came down with the arm. See Oral Roberts now coming out of their zone defense, going straight up man-to-man here, trying to create some kind of action defensively for themselves.
Shot clock inside of 5. Jared Godfrey, good off the glass.
The ball fake, hesitation, is able to get to the rim.
And you get out of that zone of play, man, thinking that may up the tempo because you got work to do to catch up.
And all you're going to see now is Purdue Fort Wayne, they're going to start moving that ball. There's going to be some screen sets. You're going to see more cutters through the lane. And look for Purdue Fort Wayne to get some easy basket here.
The Mastodons have shot him out of the zone.
You can hear Coach Kaufman from the sidelines yelling, cut, cut, cut.
A calling card for the success of this Purdue Fort Wayne team, which has put up 94 points a game during a 5-game winning streak. They're at 75 tonight and up by 22 in Fort Wayne.
Hey fellas, these Howie's specials with Cajun crust must be yours. So, where's the game?
There's no game.
Hungry Howie's, how may I help you? Yeah, I can't.
These guys again? Well, at least they don't have an air horn.
Flavor fanatics love us because we make our dough fresh daily and have meal deals for any budget.
Hungry? Howie's!
Flavor fanatics welcome.
I want to make a difference in people's life, and that's why I chose this. And I love doing what I do.
When you're able to work together with a patient to accomplish a goal, it means the world, It really does. Being able to work with those people that you love, that you care about, to really have an impact on people's lives, it's definitely the best part of being at Luther, and I really enjoy coming into work every day. So, and working with people like Raji. So, yeah.
Zach is the best boss here.
John Conchar, he's not just Purdue Fort Wayne good. He's not just Summit League good. He's nationally really good.
National good. He's drawn a lot of attention from NBA scouts. Might have a potential draft pick there. I don't know, but the NBA executives are giving him a look and considering him playing at the next level.
Just earlier today, the latest accolade to come in for Conchar, who earlier in the week was named the Summit League's Male Athlete of the Month. But most recently now, Conchar is on the Lou Henson Award midseason watch list. The Lou Henson Award going to the best player in mid-major college basketball.
I would think he'd be a strong candidate for that award with the numbers that he's posting up this year.
Only two other players in the Summit League on that list, Mike Dahm and David Jenkins from South Dakota State. They were here last Thursday, got whacked. Right now, Purdue Fort Wayne giving the business to Oral Roberts. Jared Godfrey. Macedons have shot better than 50% from three tonight. Godfrey up ahead.
Where's that? Right there's that transition again, getting that ball up and trying to get it to the basket as quick as possible.
The emphasis for Purdue Fort Wayne coming into this game was to make sure that they still play at their typical quick pace against an Oral Roberts team that was game planning to zone all night, slow things down.
And that's what Coach Kaufman and his team worked on all week long, is that zone defense and how they were going to attack it. And they attacked it so well, they shot him right out of it. Now Oral Roberts going man-to-man.
Matt Holba, the pretty stroke. Early on, Oral Roberts was hanging tough thanks to their offensive rebounding. And here it leads to 2 points for Kalen Malone, a Wichita State transfer.
The Macedons put a stop to that offensive rebounding here the second half. They've done a much better job checking out and going after the ball aggressively.
Dylan Carl the flush, but prior to that, a foul against ORU. It's on Amir Medic. Matt Weir, pretty bounce pass, good and one, Jared Godfrey.
There's that cut to the basket that Coach Kaufman's been preaching all game long. Cut, cut, cut. Good heads up bounce pass by Matt Weir into Jared Godfrey.
Macedons only have 9 healthy scholarship players. All 9 are contributing right now.
That makes it easy for the coach. Makes those rotations nice and easy. Everybody's going to get some time. Everybody's going to have a chance to contribute. And there's nothing better than contributing on a winning team.
Macedons call it contagious positive energy, and they've got a lot of it right now. Godfrey, the freshman from Atlanta, will head back to the line.
Where's Nezekawezi been here the last 5-6 minutes?
He's been watching as Purdue Fort Wayne has ballooned its lead up to 25.
Hey fellas, these Howie's specials with Cajun crust must be yours. So, where's the game?
There's no game.
Hungry Howie's, how may I help you? Yeah, I can't.
These guys again? Well, at least they don't have an air horn.
Flavor fanatics love us because we make our dough fresh daily and have meal deals for any budget.
Hungry?
Howie's! Flavor fanatics welcome.
I want to make a difference in people's life, and that's why I chose this. And I love doing what I do.
When you're able to work together with a patient to accomplish a goal, it means the world. It really does. Being able to work with those people that you love, that you care about, to really have an impact on people's lives, it's definitely the best part of being at Luther, and I really enjoy coming into work every day. So, and working with people like Raji. So.
Zach is the best boss here.
For Oral Roberts, Emmanuel Nezukwesi right now is 4 points away from 1,000 for his career. Meanwhile, the Mastodons already got a couple guys in that 1,000-point club.
It's a very impressive list right there. You see several Mastodon Hall of Famers there in that list as well. And I'm sure there's going to be more added in the near future as well.
You can already start working on the plaque for John Conchar, and Kason Harrell building a great resume himself. It's Jared Godfrey at the line shooting two.
What a night from the free throw line so far for the Mastodons. Now 10 for 11. We haven't seen that kind of stat for several years, I don't believe.
Came into this game at 66% on the year, and that number going in the right direction.
And I always said, if you want to be a championship type team, you're going to have to shoot free throws in the mid-70s to get to that plateau. And you can see game by game, Purdue Fort Wayne elevating that free throw percentage.
Yeah, early in the season when that number was a concern, Coach Kaufman said he wasn't that concerned with it because he knew the types of shooters that he had on this team, and I guess the lesson is trust the guy who brought him in and knows him best.
I can remember when I coached, right when the jump ball would go up, I'd always turn to my assistant coach and I said, do you think we're going to score tonight? That was always a fear of mine. But we always could put some numbers on the board as well. But in the back of every coach's mind, you want to be able to put the ball in the basket. And right here, you got a team in Fort Wayne, Mastodons here, that can really fill it up, especially tonight. 57% so far from the three-point line.
A lethal offensive attack, averaging 84 points a game on the year, 94 during the 5-game winning streak. They're going to be closer to that 94 number tonight. I don't even want to ask you if you ever ran into that worst-case scenario.
No, we never did. Never did. Usually my assistant coach would tell me to shut up.
Was that in those situations or other ones too? Kason Harrell's layup makes it a 27-point Purdue Fort Wayne lead. Break in the action. When this one's said and done, it's going to be the Mastodons. They're the only undefeated team left in the Summit League.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Whether across the street over at the Gate Sports Center or here inside the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum, the Mastodons have had a lot of success at home.
Here at the Coliseum, this is an intimidating building. If you've never played in this building before, it's intimidating, and I would say a lot of the Summit League teams, they don't play in a venue like this. I mean, you got a deep background, you got high ceilings, you got a lot of seats in this building, and it can be intimidating for the first time coming in here.
And intimidating when you're going up against 6'11" Dylan Carl, who had the block shot, but prior to that, a foul against the Mastodons.
You know, putting up 84 points here with 7:33 left in the game, that's impressive. But I think what's more impressive, they've limited Oral Roberts to 57 points so far in this game. Where in the Summit League, they've been putting 84 points on the board. So what a great job so far defensively that Purdue Fort Wayne's put out there.
Yeah, and the Mastodons have forced Oral Roberts into 16 turnovers. That's one of the biggest numbers out of this game. And on the other side, maybe just as big, Purdue Fort Wayne has only turned it over 4 times. It's another steal for John Conchar. Long rebound for Dylan Carl. Here, even with the comfortable lead, John Kaufman actively coaching his team and imploring them to get a paint touch.
Don't choke, Johnny. Don't choke. Good job.
Conchar is fouled, and that's the 7th against Oral Roberts. So it'll mean 1-1 for the grad student from West Chicago.
John, so far tonight, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, where he's really skyrocketed his free throw percentage from the beginning of the season as well.
Yeah, and he's simply skyrocketed the attempts that he gets at the line. The old announcer's jinx strikes. But a great number dug up by Macedon Sports Information Director Derek Sloboda. Over the last 3 years, Conchar, an all-league player, was attempting about 3 free throws a game. This season, he's getting to the line on average about 6 times a contest, and that really speaks to the aggressiveness that we've seen develop and just the fact that he's been able to have the ball in his hands more often now without having to share with guards like Mo Evans and Bryson Scott.
He's got the ball in his hands a lot more this year. Therefore, he's attracted more defenders, and they're trying to bully him a little bit, trying to double team him a little bit, trying to bump him a little bit, and he's getting to the free throw line as well.
Shot clock at 5. DeBerry tees it up and knocks it down.
Now, the first month of the season, he wouldn't have came close on that shot there, John. Now he's got that confidence rolling. I think the best thing that has happened to him is coming off the bench. That has given him that confidence, and he's not struggling like we saw earlier.
And right there, his help defense leads to another Golden Eagles turnover. Conchar to Harrell. Conchar, per usual, and that time it's a kickball. Per usual, he's flirting with a triple-double as the steals add up here, even a quadruple-double perhaps, if he stayed in here until the end. But he's had a couple of pretty passes to set guys up where they've missed open looks.
Yeah, especially when he's out leading that break, bringing that ball right down the middle. Keeps his head up, he sees the whole court. He's either dumping it off or he's taking it himself the whole way.
Foul on Kaysen Harrell. We'll send Francis Lotsis to the line. One of the freshmen for Oral Roberts and one of the international players that the Golden Eagles have. Lotsis is from Latvia. It's more of a hockey-crazed country, although basketball growing in popularity. Most notably, Kristaps Porzingis of the Knicks, who's from Latvia.
It'll be kind of interesting to see what Coach Mills does with Oral Roberts coming from Baylor, where the Drews were well known for bringing in exchange students, foreign exchange students to their program. I wonder if a little bit of that'll rub off in Coach Mills' coaching philosophy.
Yeah, and for Oral Roberts' assistant coach, Sam Patterson, the one who had the connection to get Lotsis over. Dave Montgomery from Mississippi with the deuce. And it's just been an ugly night for Oral Roberts as this has gone along. Now 3 of 7 at the foul line.
Fix it! Fix it!
A bucket for Aiden Saunders. And looking at things for Oral Roberts, this is a pretty daunting road trip starting here tonight against Purdue Fort Wayne. Coming up next, well, tomorrow a travel day out to Brookings, South Dakota. And they get the preseason favorite in the league, South Dakota State, next on Saturday, late afternoon.
Yes, this will see if the Golden Eagles are for real or not. Coming to Fort Wayne and then up to South Dakota State. Seeing 2 of the best players in the conference.
John Conchar and Mike Dahm. Conchar beats the buzzer. That was halfway down and spun out. Someone's got to go check the rims if Conchar's missing. Jurgens. Good. He's from Estonia.
It was a good-looking shot, good form, good rotation on that. You can see right from our viewpoint that was nothing but net. Right there, you see Oral Roberts back in their zone a little bit. Ball always going into the high post. What did John do when he caught the ball there, John? Turns and faces the basket, sees what's going on. He's able to get to the hoop for the easy one.
He can do it from, what do they say, all 3 levels, including down low. Kevin O'Banner, that's not his game, and it's not the Golden Eagles' night. Timeout, Mastodons. We'll take one as well. Purdue Fort Wayne, 3:09 away from improving to 4-0 in the Summit League for the first time in 8 years.
Don's looking to donate his plasma, save lives, and earn extra money. See Don check in. See Don answer questionnaire. See Don get vitals checked. See Don donate plasma to save lives and earn money. See Don setting his next appointment from the new BioLife app. See Don leaving with his BioLife debit card with money available. Be like Don. Donate today at either locations in Fort Wayne. Visit biolifeplasma.com or the BioLife app to view monthly specials.
In its 4th decade, the Summit League continues its ascent through excellence in the classroom and success in the field of play. In cities big and small, at public and private universities, more than 120,000 students across 9 institutions reach for the summit. From academic All-Americans to NCAA champions and nationally ranked teams, Summit League student athletes achieve the pinnacle of success. The Summit League, where tomorrow's leaders reach the summit today.
Granted, it's still relatively early in the conference slate, but Purdue Fort Wayne about to go to 4-0. Oral Roberts still has to be happy where they are, big picture, at 3-1. By the way, elsewhere in the league tonight, late first half, South Dakota State at home has a 10-point lead on Denver. The Pioneers have been the disappointment so far in conference play. Also, late first half, North Dakota State, a 9-point advantage on Western Illinois, and North Dakota up 8 in the first half against Omaha.
What plays into Purdue Fort Wayne's favorite, they've played some of the tougher teams right off the bat. I don't know if that could be good or bad or not, but it gets a couple of those games out of the way, and they can move into that middle tier level now and maybe pick up some easy road wins on the road.
Next up for the Macedons is a road game. Rylan Grundy, nice baseline drive. He finds Matt Weir. Good.
Nice little ball fake there. He regathered himself, took his time, lined it up. Nothing but net.
Poise from the guys on the bench. This matches the largest lead tonight for the Dons. No good for Lotsis. Weir, good box out. So I mentioned how Oral Roberts has to travel to take on South Dakota State on Saturday. And for the Macedons, they'll get tomorrow off. Saturday, they'll travel out to South Dakota. And in Vermilion on Sunday, they'll take on the Coyotes.
Which is no easy trip. I mean, they're going to have to be at their best to win that game. But these first 4 games have been nothing but huge confidence builders for Purdue Fort Wayne.
Yeah, not just winning these conference games so far, but winning them decisively, at least in 3 of 4. The one nail-biter they had was a second half come from behind eventual overtime win at North Dakota State.
But I doubt if anybody's seen these 2 wins come the way they did. The big blowout of South Dakota State and again here tonight against Oral Roberts. I don't think I could have predicted that when I was doing a little reading here this afternoon, that this would be a game again where the Macedons really put them away early.
Yeah, for those who analyze the numbers like KenPom.com, they did see the Macedons as a favorite tonight, but by 9, not 29. Same goes for the number crunchers out west. This game over in multiple ways. Purdue Fort Wayne has hit 94 points, what they've averaged during the 5-game winning streak. Lotsis will head of the line. Sean Konchar can enjoy another marvelous performance and another Macedons victory. To give you some perspective on kind of how long it's been since Purdue Fort Wayne was 4-0 in the Summit League. 2011, mentioned at the time Dane Fife was the head coach. That was a Macedons team led by our friend Ben Botts, now an assistant coach at Ball State, was on the staff here for the Macedons in recent years.
Ben Botts, one of those tough, gritty guards that could score the ball. I think that's a huge plus when you can find guards that can control the game, run the offense, and put some points on the board as well, and that's what Ben could do.
Yeah, 3rd in program history in threes made, although he's got a guy who he recruited in Kason Harrell now right on his heels. Fundamentals right here until the finish with Jared Godfrey boxing out, and he's fouled by Carlos Jurgens.
Something the Macedons done really well here the second half, limiting that second opportunity, third opportunity for the Golden Eagles. Did a much better job on the backboards here the second half than they did the first half.
It's 1-1 for Godfrey.
I think at one time there in the first half, Oral Roberts had 9 offensive rebounds, and they only got 11 for the game now.
Yeah, didn't see a lot of Emmanuel Nezukwezi here in the second half, and I think that might be maybe Paul Mills looking ahead, wanting to rest his star player with a quick turnaround to South Dakota State on the road Saturday. Oral Roberts will finish with 69. Another nice win for Purdue Fort Wayne. Final score, Mastodons 94, Golden Eagles 69, and Purdue Fort Wayne is 4-0 in the Summit League for the first time since 2011, and the Dons have won 6 in a row.
6 big games in a row, 2 huge games here at the Coliseum. Boy, if you like to see a team put the ball in the basket, you got to come and watch this Mastodon team play. You'd like the home run in baseball, you're going to like to watch these guys shoot the three-pointer.
Yeah, and tonight, not all about the offense either. They got it done defensively as well. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll put a bow on this Purdue Fort Wayne victory and look ahead to what's next.
The Acme Bar and Grill, where neighbors meet. A Fort Wayne tradition since 1941. We feature nightly dinner specials along with our iconic pizza, wings, and pork tenderloins, and barbecue in our family-friendly atmosphere with a retro flair. Additionally, we offer a full bar with 26 beers on tap from various Midwest breweries. We also have an area perfect for private events such as meetings, reunions, and banquets that holds up to 50 people. The Acme Bar and Grill, located in the heart of East State Village, where neighbors meet.
Don's looking to donate his plasma, save lives, and earn extra money. See Don check in. See Don answer questionnaire. See Don get vitals checked. See Don donate plasma to save lives and earn money. See Don setting his next appointment from the new BioLife app. See Don leaving with his BioLife debit card with money available. Be like Don. Donate today at either locations in Fort Wayne. Visit biolifeplasma.com or the BioLife app to view monthly specials.
This is The Middle, a place where people come together, look each other in the eye, and get to work. Where people believe in more, like they can always do a little more, give a little more, and find ways for their families to have a little more. We were born and raised here, and for over 80 years, we've done whatever we can to help people have and do a little more.
It's back. Applebee's Bigger, Bolder Grill Combos. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Back inside the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum, where tonight the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons defeat the Oral Roberts University Golden Eagles 94-69. With Jeff Parrish, I'm John Nolan, and another impressive performance by the Dons.
I'm not sure if there's such a thing as playing the perfect game, but they were pretty good tonight. They would have beat a lot of teams throughout the country tonight with that performance, especially offensively, and they had it on the other end, like you said earlier, defensively as well. They really shut down the Golden Eagles here tonight. But most impressively, you can see in their face now, you can see in their little walk they got going on and their eyes, this team doesn't think they're going to lose again. And as a coach, that feels pretty good. As a player, that feels pretty good. That they're on a roll, they know they're on a roll, and they have no plans on stopping that roll right now, especially when they go on the road.
Yeah, and if there's such a thing as a perfect player, John Conchar is it, and he is tonight's player of the game, presented by the Courtyard Marriott. So, Purdue-Fort Wayne will try to make it 7 in a row now, and they'll have to do it on the road Sunday at South Dakota. And in fact, it's a couple games in a row here on the road. And looking ahead beyond that, when they come back home, they'll be across the street back on campus at the Gate Sports Center. And games you can catch online at GoMastodons.com. Our next broadcast for you here on Comcast Network 81 will be against Western Illinois on February 7th.
February 7th, really?
Gotta wait a while.
Wow.
No fun.
Nuh-uh. I like coming to these games. But hey, what a huge game this Sunday at South Dakota. Naturally, the Mastodons will be favored, but that trip to South Dakota is always dangerous. You don't know what you're going to run into. But like we said, this team right now, they don't think they're going to lose anymore.
It's been a while since they've lost. Now 12-7 on the year and riding a 6-game winning streak for the first time since 2016. So that'll do it for us here on our Never End Sports production crew. Big thanks to everyone behind the scenes, including our executive producer, Doug Ferguson. Keep up with the Mastodons online at GoMastodons.com, and you can catch Sunday's game at South Dakota on the radio at ESPN Radio 1380 and 100.9 FM. Well, for Jeff Parrish, this is John Nolan saying thanks and so long from the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne. This has been a presentation of Purdue-Fort Wayne men's basketball from Learfield.